Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Run and Code Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. With me and got my back as always is J-Man. J-Man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. What's up,
Good
man?
to see you today.
Good to see you too.
It's a beautiful Sunday.
Sure.
Sun is out.
It is.
I don't do suns out, guns out. But the sun's
Neither do
out.
I, but the sun's out. It feels good.
Yeah, sun's out. It's a beautiful day. Been a busy week. Glad you can make it. So we're still waiting on all the comments from you guys. I mean, all of you guys are listening and all the downloads we've had, but nobody's leaving comments. No one's asking questions. It's kind of hurting my feelings a little bit.
Maybe we answer them all.
Maybe maybe we're that good. We actually answered all their questions. Nah, it can't be. Because the world is full of stupid questions. So, like that one guy who asked the dumbest question. We talked about him, I think, last episode before.
Yeah.
But you know what? He had a valid question. Fine, we'll answer his question. Like I said, the only things we won't mess with, we won't talk about. I want nothing to do with racism bullshit, LGBTQ bullshit, politics bullshit. That's not what we're here for.
Yep.
We're here to have fun, here to be humorous. So as long as you can obey by those rules, we'll answer any question you got. You start with any of the racist or LGBTQ, politics, religion, crap. I don't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're here for. We're here for laughs and educating at the same time. And we educate through humor because people remember what's funny. Well, that's why you can remember shit from Dave Chappelle's show 20 plus years ago. Or I can recite almost all of Eddie Murphy Raw or Delirious in the early 80s because it was funny. So you remember funny.
Yeah.
So that's why we teach through humor. Today, you should find the episode funny because we're going to talk about the age-old conflict, cops versus firefighters.
Yeah, it's funny. It's
It's an age-old conflict.
Why it's a conflict either?
Oh, I can explain all that right now. We're going to explain all that right now today, why that's a conflict.
Because I just never got it. Like, first responder versus second responders.
Because we are first responders.
And it's like,
now
we're the responders that people like. They don't want to shoot us. I've heard that before.
That's true.
Like,
that's true. That's true. You're right about that. You know, they don't want to shoot the firemen. Maybe in L.A. and Chicago, maybe they'll shoot a fireman. But I mean, the fact that some areas now the firemen have to wear body cameras and vests. That's pretty fucking sad.
Yeah, I think New York, because a couple of New York
firemen got shot.
They were getting robbed. The ambulances.
Yeah. So that's ridiculous. But we specify off the top. I love my firefighter brethren. I get along great with all of them. We have our professional rivalries because we're cops, they're firemen, but I actually get along very well with them. They're good dudes and dudettes. Have no problems, no issues. I've had a few issues with them on the job, shit they've done that either fucks up my crime scene or shit like that, but I don't have a beef with firemen. But the jokes are all there. I mean, the age-old joke. Firefighters may have invented sex, but cops introduced it to women. You know? And that stems from, firemen sharing a firehouse for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Like, it's all dudes. Used to be traditionally all dudes. Share a firehouse for 3 days straight. Like, that's not natural. And then these chiefs wonder why the cops get caught or the firefighters get caught with women in their station house. Well, yeah, because they're stuck with dudes for 3 days. I'd be sneaking women in too. Like, come on, guys, let's use our head. You're depriving them of their family and their friends for 3 days. They're stuck in this firehouse, 72-hour tour. Yeah. Like, nah, they're gonna sneak women in. Just be glad it's women, all right, and not goats. Another joke that comes to mind. So, I don't personally have a beef with them. They're great. I'm counting on them to cut me out of my car if things go south, or patch me the holes in me long enough to get me to higher level of care. We have tactical fire units here that will come in with us during active shooters. They're not even carrying a gun, but they'll be coming in with us in their med bag. That takes balls when you don't have a gun.
Yeah.
So I don't knock them. I'm a little tight. I think there's jealousy. I honestly think the beef between law enforcement and fire departments is jealousy. That's what it is.
I can see that.
Because cops, we think we're hot shit. We walk in the ER and the nurses all staring at us. Here comes the fireman, and all of a sudden we're not even standing there anymore.
Yep.
And you just hear ovaries popping all over the fucking ER. I was like, oh, okay. Fuck these guys. We don't have cop firefighter or cop calendars, but there's firefighter calendars. We don't have cop calendars because we don't have time for that shit. We're working. They have time to work out and take their shirts off, rescue cats from trees, and watch all these stay-at-home moms fucking lose their mind. They got to follow them with a mop.
Or they, when they all go group grocery shopping.
Yeah, and especially if they're at a Target.
Yeah,
like 25 women following the firefighters in their carts banging into each other as they all stare at these firemen. Fuck the fire department.
Hey, but they are. I will say this though, they are good chefs.
Oh, well,
I can't remember a time when I've actually been invited to a firehouse just for like, hey, we got some extra food, or we did this, we did that. Food's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I've actually spent Thanksgivings at the firehouse, Christmases at the firehouse with those guys because I had the codes to the doors. They all knew me. So, and I got along really well with all of them. We worked the crashes together, the house fires or whatever. And I actually get along really well with them. We pick on each other. It's kind of like the branches picking on each other. We can pick on each other, but outside people that are civilians can't pick on us because they haven't earned that right.
Yeah.
But the jokes are endless with cops and firefighters. But I mean, I've seen firefighters do crazy shit, but cops have done crazy shit. So there's no safety in being a fireman if you think just being a fireman is going to keep you safe and above the danger or above getting in trouble. The only difference is a cop gets a DWI, his career is over. A fireman get a DWI and he's fine.
Yeah.
His department will decide whether to keep him or not, but he won't lose his fire license just because he got a DWI. Now, if he's an engineer, no, he's not going to be able to drive the truck anymore. But you can still run into a burning house.
Yeah.
So, and it's just the difference is when they screw up, it doesn't really make the news. We screw up, it makes the news. And I'll give you a great example. The patrolman, the woman had called 911 saying this truck was ramming her down her very long driveway. She kept backing up, slamming into her, backing up, slamming into her all the way down her driveway. She's screaming.
That's a coded call.
Oh, it was coded all right. But we couldn't find the entrance. We could not find the driveway. It was just one of those hidden driveways. And finally we figured out where it was. Come roaring down the driveway. It was 2 units first. The other was on the way. We get there first, and there's this huge lifted Dodge Ram with the crossed axes in the back window. And then her car was just crushed on the side all the way down the driveway. And you could see the sideways skid marks as it shoved the car down the driveway. Mm-hmm. And it was a long driveway. Not a lot of damage to the Dodge. Had one of the huge-ass cattle bars in the front, but her car was just canoed.
Right.
And she's sitting in the car just screaming. And we're like, where's he at? And over there. So we run over there, and this dude is holding a Yeti that turned out later to be full of Jack Daniels. And he's taking a piss. So I just shut him down on the fucking ground. And he just fell on his face, dropped the Yeti, cuffed him. He's pissing everywhere. And we just stand there while he finishes pissing on himself. Walking back, and I was like, are you a fireman? He goes, yeah. I was like, fuck me. God damn it. So we have aggravated assault, deadly weapon. Oh, and she's pregnant.
Oh,
I'm like, fuck me. And then she's like, my husband's a trooper and he's on the way. I'm like, let's get this motherfucker out of here now.
I know,
before he kills him.
He's screaming down whatever highway.
Yeah, I guarantee you, he is tearing the engine out of that fucking car. So I'm like, let's get him out of here now. And so we ended up field sobriety testing him, and he was hammered, beyond all hammered. And it never made the news. We charged him with a DWI, aggravated assault, deadly weapon. I think it was those two to start with, and we let the detectives, figure out anything more. But it never even made the news. If a cop would have done that, that would have been national news.
Oh yeah,
fireman did it under the rug. I was like, wow, okay. What people don't understand is firefighters are also sworn personnel. They're sworn. They have professional licenses from the state, just like peace officers do. But yeah, never made the news. Never heard a word about it. I was just flabbergasted. I was like, wow. All right, must be nice. I don't even know what happened to him. They never called us to testify. Never heard a word about it. I have no clue where that case even went. I can guess.
Probably not working no more as a firefighter.
That was pretty severe because that wasn't just a DWI. That was ag assault deadly weapon. I mean, he was hitting her right in the driver's door the whole way down that driveway, and she's pregnant out to here. I'm like, even the most liberal fire chief was probably like, yeah, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, it was nice having you here. You can go be a volunteer fireman somewhere in South Texas.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
That was just one example of, a fireman and a cop can both do the same screw up. This one's going to make national news. No one's even going to hear about this one. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the jealousy part in us. So I don't know any cops that actually hate firemen. We don't hate them. It's just the jealousy. They get to sleep in the firehouse.
Oh, yeah.
They get to cook and make good food, and women's panties fall off and they're just standing near them. And, nobody's throwing shit at them when they get to a call or generally shooting at their fucking fire trucks or ambulances. Now, there's some exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, even the gangbangers leave the fucking firemen alone. Yeah. They know that someone's going to come patch them up.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So it's that jealousy. It's like, well, that's fucked up, man. I don't get that. But I also chose my job and they chose theirs. Like the old joke says, make sure you save the foundation, guys.
Yeah.
But the reason why the whole first responder, second responder issue is that in our agency and our brother agency, if let's say it's a 10-year-old just wigging out and the mom calls 911, the firefighters will not go in that house with a 10-year-old freaking out until the cops secure the scene. I'm like, he's 10. You guys weigh 250 pounds and you're in bunker gear. just pick them up. Stop. Dunk.
Well, that's...
Well, that can't be good news. Speaking of the fire department, I guess I know we're filming. They're on the way over here right now to cut my power. But all in all, I think it's just the professional jealousy. But I call them the great crime scene destroyers. I've seen them destroy crime scenes, kick shell casings around. Like, oh, look at that showcase kicking. I'm just like, stop kicking shit. You know. You'll get a homicide where it's an obvious DOA. I just need one medic. Just one.
Oh, they'll flood.
Run a strip.
They'll flood the whole room. Oh,
I have to stop them at the door. Give me one. Because it's a crime scene and it's a homicide. Give me one medic to run a strip to prove he's dead, even though he is dead. One. And they'll all want to come in. No. It's a crime scene. Locar's principle. Do not bring a bunch of crap into this crime scene. Give me one medic. Put on the booties. Walk over here, run a strip on them, and walk out.
That's your scribe's gonna thank you later for that.
Oh yeah, of course they will.
You know, John Q.
I hated,
Fireman.
Yeah, I hated scribe. Like
John Q. Fireman number
name,
2,
badge number,
around.
agency.
John
You
Q.
have a scribe sheet.
Firefighter number 3 went to go look in corner for no reason. John Q. Firefighter number 4.
Hey, I found showcasing. Please drop it back exactly where you found it. Sure, and they fling it. It's like. You know, and I'm a detective now, so when I get there and I'm like, all right, so now I have to watch, like I can see what's left of all the medical equipment, you know, the gauze and bandages. I'm like, I'm talking to the patrolman. Was he obvious when he got here? Oh, yeah. Like, without a doubt, dead? Yeah. Why did all these firemen come in here? Why did you allow a whole squad in here? One medic can run a strip, and that's it. That's all you need. And sometimes they don't even have to do that. They can take a look at them and go, not even bother to run a strip. Call it time of death. Don't touch anything. The less you touch, the better for my being able to explain in court, not having to defend anything with a defense attorney. Like, nope, nobody got touched, nothing got touched. That was a sterile scene until crime scene showed up to process it with the medical examiner. Mm-hmm. But you get 20 firemen in the house, they're kicking shit over and opening drawers. And I'm just like... I'm going to have to explain every single one of these things in my report. And then on the stand 2 years from now, when we go to trial for homicide, I'm going to have to explain how that showcasing that was allegedly there is now way over there. Well, yeah, you can see the fireman kick it. It's like, stop kicking shit. Stop touching shit. You know? So, or we have a fatality crash. It's intoxication manslaughter. And the firefighters will drive right over all the skid mark and leave their own skid marks. I'm just like, stop. You know? Nothing's on fire. You don't need to get your truck that close. Get out of my crime scene and back out slowly, please. I mean, they'll be kicking car parts around. I pick a bumper up and throw it off. I'm just like, stop touching shit.
I do like, when it comes to like crashes, if there's major crashes, I love the fire department because they'll block off. They'll block off everything. You know, there's a lot of vehicles that will not yield right away to law enforcement vehicles. They're just not doing it. Or if you're blocking off lanes in a roadway, the people are still going to drive as close enough as they can to think they can wedge themselves through to get through you. They're not doing that. The fire engines and ambos, I've seen it. Yeah. So I love it. Come in here and block everything off. Just piss everybody off.
Oh yeah, they'll block
and make them U-turn.
Yeah,
and make them U-turn.
They're mad at you, not me.
Yeah.
That's the fire department. Pull their funding. That's another jealousy thing I have is if you look at your county tax breakdown in every county, they have their own allocated budget straight from taxes, which is why they could build a firehouse every 10 feet and $750,000 fire engines and add people and add people and add people. And they go to this training and that training. Whereas SOs, city police departments, their funding comes from their general funds from their city or county coffers. They don't get direct funding like fire and EMS. And yeah, fire and EMS is important. It's kind of law enforcement. So it'd be nice to kind of change that a little bit to where we actually get direct funding, direct allocated funding instead of general funding, where now we're fighting for a $6 million statue. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck about your $6 million statue, dude. We need people, we need equipment, we need cars, we need training, whatever it is. So, it's a professional jealousy thing. I mean, they honestly kind of have it made, and I'm going to tell my dark secret here. I should have been a fireman. That's my dark secret.
Hey, you volunteer somewhere?
Yeah, I don't want to be a volunteer. I don't want to be one of those dudes. 6 beepers, fucking red lights on my truck. I'm not doing that shit. I'm happy in my lot in life. I love the firefighters I work with, and some of the best arson investigators were firemen who became cops.
Yeah.
So that's typically how it works here in the FMO, the fire marshal's office, is that they were firemen who got their police officer license and became arson investigators. So they're already quite familiar with the mechanics of fire and how smoke works and how flames work and, what was the source of the fire and how to start and how to spread and all that. And that's their bailiwick, not mine.
Yeah.
That's why when I have questions about fires, I call FMO or I call firefighters. I know, hey, good question. What would do this? What would set this off? What would do that? And yeah, they'll happily answer your questions all day long. I'll never forget it. He actually became a good friend of mine. He's a fire chief, became a real good friend of mine, but he was a fire chief and I ripped his ass on a scene. And I tore him a new one about that wide when I was done with him. It was a major crash. I have seriously injured people. They pushed all the cars out of the intersection before I got there. I was just,
like with the fire engine?
Yeah. Pushed them into the parking lot to open the intersection. I'm about having a fucking stroke when I get there. I'm like, who the fuck moved my goddamn evidence? Who the fuck? I got so many people going to the hospital. I got to figure out how the hell this happened. Oh, yeah, no, we just pushed them into the parking lot. Why? Why do you touch anything? How am I supposed to recreate this now? And the intersection, they'd reopened it. So cars just driving through, kicking parts around. I was like, you best hope this isn't criminal, because there's no way I can recreate this shit now. I said, tell me somebody got at least pictures. Somebody got pictures of this shit before. Oh, yeah, we got one guy took a couple pictures. A picture of a tire, picture of the sky. I'm like, so I am chewing this chief's ass. I'm reaming his ass. I'm like, you fucking know better. You know that is not your decision to make. That is law enforcement's decision to make. I'm chewing him up. I was a traffic officer at the time. And I'm chewing him up one wall down the other. And he stomped off to another patrol officer I know. And he was asking her, who the hell's that guy? She goes, don't fuck with that guy, chief. And you were wrong. You know better. Him and I ended up becoming really good friends down the road. Really good friends. But yeah, I was livid. How am I supposed to recreate this fucking crash? How am I supposed to figure out who's at fault now?
Yeah.
If someone dies, I gotta pin the tail on a jackass somewhere, and you just took away my evidence because the scene is not sterile now. Where leave the cars in place, I can trace skid marks, who was coming from where, and of course nobody's left to tell me what happened. There's no witnesses there. They all took off, and the fire moved the cars. They all just drove off. So I got no effing witnesses. All I got are the injured parties. You want third party witnesses that don't know either party that can testify in court to go, yeah, the white car ran the light, or the red car ran the light or whatever. Now I have no witnesses. I got no evidence in the roadway because now I can't testify to any of it because cars continue to drive to that intersection afterwards. So now, how can I say those skid marks are from that car?
Yeah, it's true.
I can't. So I got to try to match the damage up on the cars with the other car to figure out who did. Oh, yeah, I was a little unhappy that night.
I can just imagine what roadway this could have been on because, where we work, there's a lot of busy roadways.
In front of the theater on the west side.
You would never. You would never in a million years want somebody to mess up like a crash scene at some of these places.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and have a coronary.
For firefighters listening, we appreciate your help. We do. Absolutely. But don't move shit. Don't pick up car parts and move out of the way and start sweeping the street up. If there are dead bodies or seriously injured people, don't touch shit. And I've pulled up and seen them sweeping up pieces of the car and moving car parts into the ditch. And I'm like, and there's a dead body in the car with a sheet on him. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't stop. Don't touch shit. Car parts are evidence. Where they landed. That'd be direction of impact. Mm-hmm. I can see the debris field. It goes in a V from point of impact. Well, you just swept everything up. So how do I know? And then trying to figure out my point of impact because when cars collide, mm-hmm. the frames dip into the asphalt or the concrete and it'll gouge out the concrete and you'll be able to tell where the point of impact actually was. So you have area of impact. Mm-hmm. You can't quite say where it occurred and you have point of impact where I can go, that's exactly where they hit right there.
Okay.
That's very important. Figure that's how you start establishing fault. Where's point of impact? Then you start measuring skid and all that shit. And firefighters are sweeping it all up and hosing it all down. It's like, great, thanks. So you just made this case damn near unprosecutable now. So he's going to walk. Yeah, we'll arrest him based on probable cause, but it won't go beyond a reasonable doubt. So appreciate that, guys. Or I'll never forget. It was a fatality. It was Deep South too. It was a fatality. I get there. I had a rookie with me. All the traffic unit, we all had rookies with us, and they were doing their ride-outs. It's their traffic week. Mm-hmm. The way our agency works is you do your 16 weeks of field training. One of those weeks, you go with the traffic unit. You learn DWIs, at the more in-depth level, how to do them correctly. So we had this fatality crash. So we get out there, and the guy was being pulled by a golf cart, or the guy in a golf cart was being pulled by another car, and here comes a drunk and just slammed in the back of him and crushed that golf cart to about that wide, and the guy was still alive in that golf cart.
Wow, that's such a sad way
I was
to
like,
go.
whoa, okay, step back, let them do their thing. Because I was trying to figure out where they were trying to pull the cars apart. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop trying to pull the cars apart. Like, he's still alive. Who's still alive? Oh, that guy. All you could see was arm and a head. I mean, he was awake and looking at me. I'm like, all right, guys, do you? I just real quick grabbed the paint, started trying to mark tires real fast for hold on. Okay, go ahead. So let's get tires marked so we can measure later.
Yeah.
And the guy ended up dying while they were trying to extricate him. But I was talking to the rookies. I didn't see the grizzled ass old fire chief standing behind me, and I'm telling the rookies, the fucking great crime scene destroyers is these dudes could fuck up a wet dream. I said they'll make it damn near impossible to prosecute these cases because they fuck everything up. Well, that dude, instead of coming to me, he goes and cries to the Sarge about how I was disrespectful and all that shit. So he's like, you need to apologize.
There you go.
I'm going to give him a T-bone apology. So I went back to him. Hey, Chief, I'm very sorry about the very hurtful and honest things I said. Is there anything else? That dude wouldn't talk to me for like 2 years.
Oh, I love it.
But I wasn't wrong.
Patrol sergeants, you guys get a lot of flack, but us patrol officers, we love you.
Yeah, well, the Sarge...
We always love the Sarge.
The Sarge wasn't a fan. The Sarge was not a fan of my response to that fire chief.
Oh, yeah. Knowing that Sarge, yeah. Hi, Sarge.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Not happy. And he was just like, is that really your apology? Yeah. Because I didn't say anything wrong. So I'm not going to apologize. I don't apologize for hurting his feelings, I guess. But it's very true. They're coming in and moving car parts and throwing bumpers off the road. And it's like, Jesus, like, this is roadway evidence. That's why it's called roadway evidence.
Yeah.
It establishes fault. Somebody caused this crash. That's why I don't use the word accident anymore. It's crash. Somebody caused this. A dumbass violated the traffic law, which caused a crash. That's why we enforce moving traffic violations, because those are the things that are written in blood. Firefighters come and erase that fucking blood. I can't figure out who did it. I can say I know who did it, but I don't have any evidence to back that up. Just have my experience and years of doing it to go, yeah, I know exactly how this happened, but how can I explain that in court without roadway evidence to back me up?
True.
Because nobody cares anymore what you think. They want to see roadway evidence. So we have to diagram these things. We get the drones out, the Leicas, measure to 1/1000th of an inch in accuracy, and then rebuild this on a Google Maps to scale exactly how the crash occurred. And so a moving, dimensional image of how this crash shows the actual impact and speeds and all that shit.
Yep.
Well, if you drive over my skid marks and you move my roadway evidence, it makes it very hard for me to recreate that.
Yep.
So it's just like, yeah, I get a little agitated.
And this is on a different note. I'll never forget this too. I'm just at work, and it's like it's like the first, second hour of the shift, just chilling. It's just hanging out, and I can hear I hear a lot of clicking, and low ballistic reports. So it sounds like somebody's shooting like a small caliber round, and we go investigate and find where it's at. Sure enough, it's the firefighter guys, man. They're up there shooting the what is it, like the Orbeez, the gel blasters.
Oh yeah.
They're running around the firehouse
shooting each other
with gel blasters. I'm like, must be nice.
I mean, that's kind of
some
fun.
of us came here to come to work.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Nice.
It must be real nice. The
like,
first 2 hours of your
this?
shift, you're up here you're hiding in the bushes somewhere.
Yeah. So what fire skill is this that they're training on?
Don't know. I don't know.
I can see they're running around shooting each other with fire extinguishers, but Orbeez, it makes no sense because that's not a firefighter skill.
Damn golden AKs. Like, hey man, you want to come over? You want to join the fun? I'm like,
and
no,
you did
because I could get a
you
call.
wanted to.
I know. I'm like, no, I could get a call, and I unfortunately have to. I don't want to get too involved in like shooting each other with gel blasters.
I mean, the positives of the firefighters is I've always used their equipment to wash my car because they always wash their trucks. They always have all the shit to wash. So I just go over there and wash my shit. Hand wash my shit, detail it out. Right by the time we get called, do a call down a muddy road. It never fails. You want to guarantee you get a shit call, detail your car.
Yep.
Food, sodas. If I wanted to catch a quick cat nap, just shove the radio right next to my ear and just kind of just lay on the recliner for a second. And those are going to be more like the shifts where it hasn't blown up. I didn't do it very often, but a couple times I did. And I would go to the firehouse and just say, hey, I'm going to shove my just put my radio right next to my ear. But how they can sleep in a firehouse when the tones are going off fucking constantly, I couldn't do it. Whereas I wake up, look over, and they're all still asleep. And it's like they know which tones mean what. Like subconsciously while they're sleeping, they'll wake up to the right tones. Right. Just because they tone out doesn't mean it's that firehouse.
Yeah.
So you just get all the tones.
Yeah.
For that district. Mm-hmm. So medic, station 51, medic 51, truck 60, whatever, and then their number comes up, bam, they're up and moving. I'm like, that's impressive. And anybody who says women can't do the same job as men has never met some of the female firefighters in this county. Those women will hurt you just as fast as a man will. Mm-hmm. And I've seen them do everything the men do. They jaws of life, pry open doors, wear bunk gear, run to a fire. Gender didn't matter, and I've never seen a woman firefighter have an issue at all. They do the same exact job, no beefs.
You're either going to cut it or you're not.
You got it or you don't. So the whole argument about women can't cut it, well, some can. There are men that can't cut those jobs. So it's not gender specific, it's ball specific. Some women just have theirs internally, but their balls are still bigger than some of the men they're with. Mm-hmm. I know we got a few women in my agency that absolutely would toe-to-toe with a grown man and absolutely throw hands like a fucking inmate.
I can. If only we can name them.
We can name them off together right now. I'm not going to. They know who they are. Love you guys. Because I don't want you to punch me. My old partner, she would straight up pick a dude up, body slam on his face. Like, she had zero fear. Like, there was no bitch in her. We have a saying, and you've heard it. There is no bitch in her blood. There's no bitch in his blood. Well, there was no bitch in her blood at all. She straight up right in their face, and they'd back down. And firefighters, I've seen them calm people down, and kind of chill out a tense situation. And if they're getting good luck with the consumer, I'll stand back and let them do it. If they're getting the guy calmed down and maybe me stepping in is going to wind the guy back up, why not let them do it? They're doing it. Let them.
For sure.
And they'll calm him down, talk to him, and then get them calm in the ambulance and hit him with the whatever the hell they hit him with. And good night. Okay, all right, cool, we're good. Cuff him to the gurney, and I'll follow you to the hospital. We'll ED in there.
Yeah.
So I got nothing but love for firefighters. I just like to pick on them and talk shit, but honestly, it's probably professional jealousy. It's funny as hell, because we had the episode about badge bunnies and the nurses. They're told us to stay away from, police, paramedics, firefighters, and physicians.
Yeah.
That goes out the window when the fire department walks in the fucking hospital. Every nurse in there just loses their shit. They're fucking trying to take blood, and they jam the dude right up his fucking carotid. And it's like, hey, don't worry about that dude. Like, take my blood sample. So I think it's jealousy.
Yeah.
And, I'm jealous of their schedules. It depends on where you work, but most firefighters work 15 days a month.
Oh, yeah.
3 on, 4 off, 4 on, 3 off, or 3 on, 3 off, and then 4 days on, and 20. I don't know how the hell they do I can't even tell you their fucking schedules. I got firefighter buddies. I never know when they're fucking at work because I'm on the A schedule. I'm on the B, I'm on the C. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Because you guys don't work 8-hour shifts. You work 24, 48, 72. Like, yeah, I'm 2 on, 3 off. Next week I'll be 5 on, and then I'll be off 4. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How the fuck does your... Why don't you just do 3 on, 4 off, 4 on, 3 off and call it a day? Be Panama. But some agencies do. Yeah. Here they don't. So I can never keep track of when they're on, who's on with them. Not a clue. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of that's jealousy.
Yeah.
They have all the nicest equipment, the nicest training. They have nice funding. They build these brand new firehouses with these awesome sleeping quarters and nice comfortable beds.
Yeah, their quarters are nice.
80-inch TVs with direct TV. But to be fair, they have to live there for 3 days at a time.
Yeah.
So I can't knock that because that makes sense. If you're stuck somewhere for 3 damn days, what do you expect them to do when they're not on calls? Stare at the wall? I mean...
Could you imagine if PDs kind of like functioned the same way an FD does? You know how bad the equipment would be? Police, like... We tear up our shit.
I
know, like, I don't know, for law enforcement, we don't take good care of our stuff at all.
We do when it's issued to us.
Right, yes.
So if you issue me a brand new car, I'm going to take good damn care of it because that's my car only. But if it's a pool car where it's used 3 shifts a day, 7 days a week, nah. Because everybody else is leaving food behind the seat and farting in the seats and it's just a mess. It's trashed. When I have my own take-homes, I kept them detailed because I'm the only one responsible for it. I can't blame nothing on anybody else. It's my car. But yeah. But they love taking care of They take care of their shit. They're out there constantly waxing. Well, the probies.
Yeah.
What we call rookies, they call probies. Same shit. They're out there waxing the truck. Not the senior fireman who's been on for 25 years. He's not out there waxing the truck. The rookies are out there waxing the trucks, but man, they're all waxed and all the chrome is all polished. I'm like, you're a bunch of fucking assholes, whatever. Hey, can y'all hook up my car? Because my car is a tenth the size of your fucking fire truck. You want to hook me up real quick? Hey, rookie, help me out. Yeah, right. But I have waxed my Tahoe. It was just one of those days. It was dead quiet. I'm like, I'll give it a risk. I was just doing one panel at a time, but I washed my whole Tahoe, detailed it out, then got their wax, and I'm halfway through my fucking Tahoe, and I get a coded call. I'm like, yeah, at least I got half of it waxed. But I was just doing like a door at a time. Like I wasn't doing a whole car. Door, wipe it off. Door, wipe it off. Dee, 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 dee. God damn it. So I had a half wax Tahoe. Better than none, I guess.
Better than nothing.
But yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of firefighters. They make great money. They have the ability to. A lot of them have second jobs because they have so many days off in the month. They can have second jobs. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them have like they own their own companies, part times. They can be real estate agents, carpenters, plumbers, welders because they have that kind of time.
Yeah,
I got 4 days off. So my other job, I go make. I'm a welder and make $80 an hour. I'm like Jesus.
Right.
Cops, we really don't have that luxury. We're either on 4-3 or 5-2. Mm-hmm. Or if you're on 12s and you work 3 on, 4 off, 4 on, 3 off, a Panama schedule, which that'd be nice.
Right.
We've been kind of flirting with the idea of 12-hour shifts here in our agency, but it's just not really feasible.
Yeah.
You're going to be so exhausted. You'll get that call an hour before the end of shift, and then you have to stay in 17 fucking hours, and you got to come back in 5 hours to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. So, but I'm jealous. I love the fire dogs. I just make fun of them, and I make fun of them because I think I'm kind of expected to. But in reality, cops actually get along real well with firefighters and the paramedics. They do help us out a lot. They'll be the first ones to cut us out of our cars if we get into a crash. They'll be the first one patching us up if we get shot. Mm-hmm. And they'll go right in with us in school. In school shootings, they'll be right there behind us.
Right.
And I got to hand it to them. That takes balls. Mm-hmm. They're not even armed, and they're coming in. That takes nuts. So I can't knock firefighters, and I don't knock firefighters. Personally, yeah, I make fun of them like everyone else does because I'm kind of expected to. I look like a traitor if I didn't make fun of them. I'm a cop, so I have to kind of make fun of firefighters. But in reality, on the low, I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen them do the same dumb shit cops do. You just never hear about it.
Yeah.
Never hear about it. No one says shit. No one cares. They're like, give him a pass for fireman. Okay, one of us just did something stupid and didn't even do it intentionally, and we're barbecued on the news. Firefighters intentionally do something stupid, and you never hear a word about it. So that's another jealous thing. Like everybody gives them all the rope in the world, and us we're on a very tight leash.
Right.
I can see why, but it's just the unfairness of it, I guess. So that's my 2 cents on it. So you give me some thoughts on it while I drink my water.
No, that's really much it. Just professional jealousy, really. It's I don't know. I guess because I started off as a detention officer first, so I just never really seen it like that until I started doing patrol. I'm just like, I can kind of see where the jokes come from. And you get the jokes between different types of different type of agencies. Like I can't remember how the analogy, the joke goes or whatever, but city officers are going to show up 10 deep to secure a crime scene. The deputy sheriff is going to show up just 1 to a 10-man brawl, and then the trooper is going to show up to set up the larger perimeter and write all the vehicles registration tickets.
Yeah, registration tickets. Yeah. We got the perimeter when leaving. Yeah, one riot, one ranger. Yeah. And there's some truth to that. Little tangent, but it's true. I've seen 1 or 2 deputies handle a crowd of 100, and PD will have 10, 15 officers for a minor disturbance. I'm like, must be nice. And it's because they have the manning in their board, so they just all go.
They all go, yeah.
We don't have that kind of manning, so it's like, handle with what you got.
Yeah.
And we get it done. We handle it. And we do. And sometimes it goes a little south. Right. Because it's still only 1 or 2, and people get brave when they see only 1 or 2 deputies. So they figure, game on. I'm like, well, 1 deputy is worth 50 municipal police officers, so choose wisely.
That's true.
But again, a lot of that stems from the start of the jail. All you had was your 2 fists.
Right.
You didn't have gun, a baton, taser, OC, for the most part when I was there. Then now I think they all have them. Now I think every detention officer has at least OC. Some even have tasers.
I know, that's
But when you and I were there, you had these. Yep, so you learn how to use them.
Just getting stab vests when I got there.
Yeah, I remember the stab vest came out.
Because I think at first when I started, they still weren't issuing stab vests.
Only the CERT teams had the stab vests.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to wear them except on codes.
Yep.
And then it changed to where we had to wear them the whole damn time we're in the building.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this sucks, because during the summer when the power would go out and the AC would be out, it would be 90 degrees in that building, you're wearing that vest, you're just like boiling. But I guess that was prepping you for patrol without even knowing it.
I think, yep, that was nice and ripe, that vest.
Oh, yeah. No, you get home and you pull it back and, the smell. And you just turn inside out, throw it in your locker to air out, you open your locker the next day, and you got to put this damn thing back on. And like, you're not hitting on any female deputies that day because they don't want to be anywhere near you. You stink. It's 110 degrees, but it prepped you for the streets.
Uh-huh.
So 110 degrees on the street, wearing a full duty gear, full vest, and you're wearing blues. It kind of prepped you for it with that kind of heat. Like, just learn to just shut it out and ignore it. Do your job.
Yeah.
Get back in tow, turn the AC on all the way, pull your vest back, and just kind of
yeah.
And the heat just hits you in the face. Well, the firemen. They finish, and yeah, granted, they go into 600 degree buildings, so that's a little warmer. I can't say shit because they wear that heavy ass bunker gear, then a Scott pack, then they got a Halliget or a fire axe, a helmet. They're pulling a fucking heavy ass fire hose with them. That fucker is not light, and they're going into a house that's 600-700 degrees. So I can't really say shit about the heat level. Like, I want to bitch about heat, but I've seen them in July going to these burning houses. I'm like, yeah, I can't say shit because I'm not doing it. I am not doing that. You don't pay me enough, and I don't have the right gear for it anyway. So we bitch about heat, but those guys, they feel some serious heat.
Oh yeah.
But then they go back to the firehouse and they shower, take a nice cool shower off, start dinner, put on the TV, and fall asleep to the fucking late show. I'm like, all right, assholes. Yeah, but they have their busy days like we do too. Where it just be call to call all day long, and they can't get a minute's rest, and they're starving too, and they work 20 hours straight before they finally get a fucking little peace and quiet, try to get some food and some sleep before the toners go off again. So there's ups and downs to being in the firehouse like that for 48 to 72 hours. Mm-hmm. You may not get any rest if it's busy enough, especially days like 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, where it's just constant, especially Thanksgiving. And 4th of July, where they're blowing each other up with fucking fireworks, it's nonstop.
I can only imagine because holidays for law enforcement and holidays for like FD, they're definitely going to be like totally different as far as types of calls they respond to, and maybe the frequency and how much they're going out.
Yeah, so in those they're going to get far more because they're going to get the medical where the guy blew his hand off with a firecracker, where he put it up his butt and killed himself
because they were trying to do some weird concoction.
I have seen these idiots. I remember that dude who fucking fired a bottle rocket off on his fucking head and it killed his ass. He died. He just set it off on his head and they killed him. I was like, what?
Sucks. And you would think that would never even happen.
Shoot these fuckers at each other. Like, how the hell did it kill him? But fluke accident, they killed him. Someone showed us the video of it because they were videoing it, of course. Which, these days with the invent of smartphones, we actually get a lot more like deaths on camera. So it helps us easily with the investigation. Nope. That was accidental. That's not a homicide at all. That was just him being stupid. Case closed. No suspects. We're good. Close it out. But they showed me the video, and of course, alcohol was a factor.
Always is.
But he put it on his head, and they were filming him, and he fired, and he just collapsed. He was gone. Like, instant gone. Like, they tried CPR. Like, someone was sober enough to try CPR. Nah, he was gone. It was just like a fluke. It hit him just right and killed him. But I've also seen you just blow their fucking hands open because like Armageddon. Remember the movie Armageddon? Mm-hmm. Where he's explaining how they're going to blow up the asteroid. You put a firecracker in your hand with your hand open, set it off. What does it do? Nothing really. Burns your hand. But that's about it. But take the same firecracker and close your fucking hand around it like that bitch.
It's an explosive.
You're gone. Your fingers are gone. Like you just have nubs. So, it's the same thing. These idiots will hold them in their hands, like trying to like games with each other. Like who'll let go first? Like you're both fucking stupid. These fuses aren't like military grade precision fuses. Like you don't know how this was cut in the factory. Like it says 5 and it's 3. Like you about to now someone's jerking you off for you. The rest of your fucking life, or you nubbing it. So I've seen them put them in their mouth, in their butt, off their head, hold them, and then the firefighters get there, and you're like, yeah,
that's all you.
Yeah, that's all you guys. We're gonna chalk this up to accidental. We'll call it accidental and death by stupidity because you get cause and manner.
Yeah.
From the ME's office, and you ask for a C&M, a cause and manner, how they died, what was the method, and they'll tell you accidental, And I would like to see one because I was a patrolman when that kid died from the one on his head. I want to see the CNN for that one. Accidental, but what the manner? I want to know what the manner was.
Right.
Like, what would they write down as manner? Stupid? Accidental explosives. I don't know. So, because you have 5 categories. You have homicide, suicide, accidental, medical, and unknown. Those are your categories. And causes. Manner is how. Suicide, asphyxiation, gunshot wound, carbon monoxide, whatever.
Right.
Crash, whatever is the manners. You got the cause and the manner. And so I would like to see the cause and manner on that one because I'd like to know how the medical examiner phrased that particular one, putting a firework on someone's head. I'd like to see that one. Just curious what he marked it. I know it's accidental, but what he marked it as manner. Like how? Death by explosives? Death by stupidity? I'd like to see it. I mean, obviously it wasn't funny, and I feel bad for the family, but we have that dark sense of humor in law enforcement, and firefighters have it too. Every firefighter, paramedic I know got dark sense of humor too, but
they do.
They know as well as I do that, and you do, that they have to shovel this shit down and keep trucking on and do their job. And some days the only way you can survive in this world is to have that dark sense of humor that keeps you just going. Because the tragedy you have to see, they see the same things we do: the dead children, the dead kids, the murder suicides. They see all the same shit we do, and the only way I'd say they have it better is that when they finish that call, they're done with it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to do anything follow up with it, whereas we have to follow up on it. We got to keep looking at the crime scene photos. We got to talk to victims' families. We got to talk to witnesses. We got to talk to suspects. And we have to live and breathe this case until we can submit it to the district attorney. And then we won't hear anything about it for a year and a half. Then it goes to trial.
Yep.
So you're almost re-victimizing yourself because you have to remember this crap. I'll never forget the case here where they had those 2 kids chained to the tree. You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
I didn't make that one. Thank you, God. But I do know the officers that did, and they're still fucked up from that. Those 2 little kids chained to the tree.
I was working in the jail.
Yeah.
So I remember when both of them came into the jail.
Yeah.
And of course, the male, because I worked mostly at the main jail with the males. And yeah, he was in, we had him in, I think he was in protective custody.
I think he had to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had those 2 kids chained to a tree in the middle of summer because they went out of town on vacation. Like, I'm glad that it was the modern era because that had been 50 years ago. Those 2 might not have made it because every deputy on that scene, every officer on that scene, every fireman on that scene wanted to kill somebody for that. Those poor kids, they survived severely, dehydration and starvation because they wanted to go to, I think it was Vegas. The case has been adjudicated now. They're completely adjudicated. Yeah. They both got a lot of time.
They got double digits, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. They got a lot of time. What was her name? Portia? What was her name?
It was Perusha Phillips.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tragic scene. I've seen the crime scene photos. I'm glad I didn't make that scene because I don't think I would have handled that really well. And that was the mom that like, oh, we're going on vacation. Just tie him to a tree and chain him to a tree, leave some water near him, and we'll be back in 5 days. Like, what? And he got, I'm trying to remember which one got more time. Was it DeAndre?
I think it was the mom. She got more than,
because they were her kids. They weren't even his kids, I think. He was stepdad or boyfriend or something like that.
Yeah.
So she got more time because she was the mother. But he got quite a bit of time too because any adult should have been like, not cool. So I don't know what kind of voodoo magic she had over him that made him think, hey, there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah. And
the firefighters were crying on scene. The medics were in tears. I mean, it was a horrid scene. And, that's one thing that brings us all together, firefighters, paramedics, and cops, is tragedy. When you have to see shit like this, now we got to lean on each other because it's horrible to see. It's horrible to watch. The only ones that are going to understand are fellow first responders that understand the shit we have to see. The public doesn't really have to see it. They don't have to dwell on it. We've talked about this before in other episodes where the average human has 3 to 4, maybe 5 critical instances their whole life.
Right.
But cops, firemen, paramedics, we have hundreds over our 20-year, 30-year career, and we have to swallow that shit down and keep working. And some people fold sooner than others. Yeah. The old saying is cup runneth over. Cops that commit suicide, the firefighters, paramedics that commit suicide because of the human misery they're around every day just finally eats at their soul. Instead of talking to somebody because they're worried they would get branded mental or unfit for duty because if they talk to somebody. Luckily, the departments are getting smarter about that, realizing that doesn't make you unfit for duty because you need to talk to somebody. You need to talk to somebody. You talk to somebody. Yeah. Let the shit out before it eats you from the inside out. And they're getting smarter, realizing you don't have to DQ someone's career. You don't got to DQ their license. Let them talk it out, and they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting better about that, and it's about time. Going and talking to a therapist or psychiatrist now is not the end of your career anymore.
Yeah.
Just go talk to somebody. We've had officers that have threatened suicide. We ED them like anybody else because they're, threatening suicide or suicidal ideation. We're not ending their career over it. We are going to take their weapons, and we're going to make sure they get the help they need. We'll put them in a light duty somewhere that has no access to weapons. They can still make themselves feel some kind of useful instead of stay home and don't leave, which that's demoralizing as hell.
Yeah.
Fire is the same way. They'll put them in a non-duty position where they'll at least do something until they get cleared to return to duty.
Yeah.
So they're getting smarter about it. They're finally realizing, even the military is kind of starting to realize that, like, all the special forces units and infantry units do have like battalion or brigade level therapists and psychologists. You can go talk to them, and just because you talk to them doesn't necessarily mean anything anymore. Now, if you tell that psychologist, psychiatrist, "Hey, I'm about to go kill myself when I go home," well, they're gonna put a stop to that. They have to notify somebody. They don't have a choice to notify somebody.
Right.
But it's not going to end your career just because you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's wrong and why? What do we need to talk about? Fire department's the same way.
Yeah.
Police is the same way. Medics, anybody who works in the front line, combat or first response or second responders. Sorry, guys, I still have to throw that in there. Needs that outlet. They need to talk to somebody before it kills them because it's poison.
Yeah.
It's poison in your soul, and the shit you see. And I'm not immune to it. And I'm rough, tough, take no shit off anybody. John Wayne John Wayne toilet paper, but shit bothers me, especially when it's kids. And I'll remember it at the worst times because it was kids.
Yeah.
And you see a kid and it just flashes you back, and you're a human being. And, that's why these people like get mad because on the news, all the officers standing around a horrible homicide scene and they're laughing and joking. They're not laughing and joking about the homicide they're at. That has nothing to do with why they're laughing. They're talking about something else entirely to distract them from the shit they had just had to see.
Yeah.
But they're not laughing and joking about your loved one having died at all. No one's standing there talking about how it's funny that someone died a certain way. I guarantee you we're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about anything other than that to distract us from the shit we just had to see, especially when it involves children.
Yeah.
Murder-suicides where a father annihilates his entire family than himself. So I'd rather go outside and talk about anything other than that. And if you make me laugh, great, because I forgot about that. But then the news they were laughing over the bodies. No, we weren't. That's not what we were laughing. It had nothing to do with you or your family, man. But the media will tell people that we were laughing, standing over the bodies. It had nothing to do with that. We're human. It doesn't look good. I'll give it that. It doesn't look good, but it's human and has nothing to do with your horrible tragedy that befell your family. We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're not laughing about your family. I promise you. But people don't understand that we have to kind of shut our mind off and not think about it and laugh about something else, because if we don't, we sit there and dwell on it. It will eat us from the inside out. Firefighters no different. Paramedics no different. They're the ones who work on them and they die on them.
Yeah.
On the way to the hospital, and they work their ass off, especially when it's kids. And they're doing everything they can under the sun, trying to save this child or this person, and failing. And it's not their failure. There's nothing wrong. Some people can't be saved.
Yeah.
And that's what they tell doctors in med school. You will not save everyone. You can't. God makes a decision when you're going, not anybody else.
Yeah.
Both same paramedics. They're sitting there working on them, and the person dies on the way to the hospital, or they get there and still die anyway, and they blame themselves. What if my skills had been better? If I'd have known to do this? Well, sometimes it's not up to you.
Yeah.
So don't blame yourself. Appreciate you didn't do wrong. So I know that kind of turns serious, but I want people to understand that we're all still human. We're all first responders, even though we consider them second responders. And that's only because that's the old joke. They are still first responders. They see the same shit we do. They'll be responding to the same shit. Car crashes, plane crashes, murders, suicides, children committing suicide, which is on the uprise lately. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. 12 years old and they're killing themselves. It's like, what the fuck? So they see it too. And so we do share that bond brought on by tragedy and misery and the human condition at its worst, because firefighters, cops, and medics see people at their worst, not their best. We see people at their worst emergency. To them, it's the worst day of their life. To us, that's just a funny story we're going to tell everybody later in roll call. To them, it's the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
So we are bonded by that dark sense of humor, and that we've all seen the same nasty shit. We've all had to see it and be there with it and swallow it down and do our damn job anyway. and get right back on the rig or get right back in the patrol car and go back to work and go to the next damn call. So when you get these officers that you see flipping out on somebody, maybe it's because the last call he was at was they were all standing over a dead baby.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a little short fused from that. And then you call because your neighbor gave you the finger. And because you want to act like a juvenile and a child, he blows up on you and calls you a fucking idiot. And then you're like, oh my God, he hurt my feelings. Well, he doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. He just heard that scream from a mother that cannot be duplicated by anybody other than a mother. So, yeah, they tend to get a little frosty. Paramedics and firefighters the same way because they had to see it too. They were standing the whole time too. Now, who the hell wants to see that day in and day out? They do it for 20 years, 30 years. Plus, they have to run into burning houses that could collapse on them any fucking minute.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And it's 600 degrees in that fucking house or hotter.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's any firemen listening to this, send us a message on this episode on YouTube or on YouTube and tell us how hot it really gets in a fire. I want to know.
Like a working structure?
Yeah, it's got to be 600-700 fucking degrees.
I've been in the entryway.
Yeah, no, I've stood on
like
the
a trailer,
street
like a
and
trailer
it singed my damn hair.
And I'm just like, yep, nope, I'm backing out, man.
No, I'm good. I've seen it bubble the paint on cars. I've stood across the street and felt the heat where it was singeing my eyebrows, and I'm across the street. Mm-hmm. And there they are, bunker up, mask up, and they walk right through that shit. I'm like, oh, you got bigger balls than I do. I'd rather fight a guy on PCP than fucking go into a burning house. You know, but at least they have the gear for it. Wearing this shit, you want to start cooking those rounds off on your belt. That's going to be a bad day. And they start popcorn destroying your hips. So I'm kind of curious. Any firefighters watching this, please send us a message. And any firefighters watching this that want to talk shit, please, absolutely. Let it rip. Send us a message and we'll fire right back. Absolutely. We all know it's in good fun. We don't actually hate you guys. We love you guys because, like I said several times already, you're going to be the one scraping me off the road. Mm-hmm. Getting the jaws of life to get me out of my car after a crash went south. Or I got shot and it's your paramedics trying to work on me, get me to the hospital in time to save my life. So I got nothing against firefighters and paramedics. I'm just jealous. That's really honestly it. I'm just jealous. So I think I've kind of beat that subject. You got anything to add on firefighters?
Nope, that's it.
So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. I know these episodes sometimes get late. Again, J-Man and I have very busy schedules. They don't always line up. And then there's been a bug going around that it got me one week and it got him the second week. And it was just like nonstop. If it wasn't coming out of one end, it was coming out of the other. I don't know what the fuck is going around right now. So that's why we're a little behind. Normally we try to release the episodes every Sunday at midnight on both YouTube and all the major podcast platforms. Today's going to be a little late. I'm sorry. We're trying. We're doing our best because, once we finish the episode, we still got to edit it. We still got to put it together. We still got to upload it. And YouTube wants to listen to every word to see if we violated their terms of fucking service. So I got to be careful what I say. It's great to be an American with freedom of speech, right? But we got some great episodes coming up. And we are still working towards the live. We're trying to figure that out now. We're trying to figure out what equipment we're going to need because it's not what we have now that can do it. So we're trying to figure out how the hell we're going to work that and without breaking the bank because as you can see, we're not making money off this. We don't have a Patreon account. We don't have donations. We do this out of our own pocket and we do it because we enjoy it. Mm-hmm. We're not bitching. We're not complaining. That's just the realities of it. Him and I had talked about doing a podcast forever, and finally we just had to just sack up, hit record, and start talking. I mean, we talked about it long enough. Finally, we just had to get to start doing it. That's why the first maybe 5 episodes, 10 were so rough because we had no clue what the hell we were doing. And honestly, that's how it should be. You should improve as it goes on, as you learn and as you get better, and you watch other podcasters how they do it. You take their ideas, and we all work off each other. No one should be getting mad if you're a podcaster and someone takes an idea of yours, to get better. Don't be mad at them.
Yeah,
you started out like crap too, and you had to learn. Now that's how they're learning. So we love all of our listeners. We thank you for your support and listening to us. I think I want to give the numbers, locations. I'd like to start doing that. Give a shout out to the new countries listening.
Yeah,
because we got some good ones. Let's see here. Let me go to locations. So all locations, total countries, because I was wrong last time. I said it was like 88 countries or something. It's not. It's 37 countries are listening to us now, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
We even have listeners now in Vietnam. All right.
Okay.
Cool. And 525 cities in the U.S.
That's good. That's a lot of cities.
Yeah, that is. So, I mean, obviously we want to grow, and with your help, we will grow. But if you wonder why sometimes the episodes don't come on time, that's why. It's not personal. We're just life gets in the way. This is not our full-time job, where this is what we do. We are cops, and then this is our part-time, good time, get together when we can, have a little fun, have some laughs. So we appreciate your support. Questions, comments, concerns, email us at runningcode2023@gmail.com. And that's RUNNINCODE2023@gmail.com. You can email us directly there. You can leave comments on the videos or audios on YouTube. And eventually we're going to get the Patreon going. We're trying to figure that out too, and how we're going to set that up, because you have different levels of Patreon, and we don't want people to be paying $15, $20, $30. That's not necessary. The only time we'll do that is if we do like charity episodes where the money's going to go to a fallen responder's family or something. Yeah. And then we're going to ask you to give. That's just the nature of the business. Your departments love you and care about you till you die, and then you're on your own. So we want to help out anybody we can, because we like that someone do that for our family if we pass. So
yeah.
I got nothing else. J-Ben?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, from J-Man and I here in South Texas, brothers and sisters, please watch each other's backs, take care of each other, pay attention to each other, pay attention to what's not being said, when normally they are, or how they're acting now versus how they were acting 2 weeks ago after that last incident. Ask questions. It's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ask the question. It doesn't make you weak, and it doesn't make you a bad person or an unfit cop or an unfit firefighter or an unfit paramedic. It means you're a human being that saw something that normally people don't have to see, and you got to suck it the fuck up and go back to work. So lean on each other. Talk to each other. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Are you okay? You could save a fellow life from a tragedy that their problems just ended, but now everyone else is beginning around them, and then you got a wife with trying to figure out how you're going to raise your kids. So ask the questions. But another fun episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We got some really good ones coming up, so please stay tuned and keep listening and help us out. Pass on to your friends, and I got nothing else to add. So J-Man and I, we're out of here.